All right, Mr. Taliaferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? I want to send a rest in peace and my wishes to the Young Greatness family. Rest in peace to their guy, Young Greatness. For those who don't know who Young Greatness is, he's a New Orleans rapper who had a record, I believe this was 2016, when he had a huge moment in the culture with that record, Moolah. Remember how that record went? All my life I hustled just to get that moolah. Yeah, and stack my change up, then go see the jeweler. I stand in the kitchen, I whip up that work, He had a banger. So if you don't know the name Young Greatness, you definitely remember the record Young Greatness. It feels like an eternity ago, but that was only like 2 years ago. I think it was 2016 when Moolah was a huge record in the culture, man. So I want to send a rest in peace to Young Greatness. He was killed earlier today. He was killed in his hometown of New Orleans, Louisiana. Apparently, Young Greatness was in town for a funeral. All right. And at a Waffle House, he was shot and killed. I think Young Greatness was 34. Apparently, this happened at like 1:30 in the morning at the parking lot. And Young Greatness unfortunately died at the scene. He's from New Orleans, but Young Greatness, he moved to Houston like right after Katrina, I believe. And then I want to believe Greatness had a spot in Atlanta, because I know he always worked with a lot of Atlanta producers, because I followed Young Greatness on social media. So I know he was always in Atlanta working with a lot of producers. I want to believe he had a spot in Atlanta. It just sucks, man. You know, Young Greatness, he got his hit record a little later in life. He was around 30, 31 when he got his hit record, you know. And it sucks for a plethora of reasons, because this young brother was so hungry, and I'm telling you, he just didn't stop in the studio. And I just want to be honest with y'all. You know, that record Moolah probably was a gift and a curse, man. Just where we're heading in this world, like the one big record. I know somebody's gonna say, I think I seen Say Cheese say this is the 12th rapper to get killed this year. I'm not really concerned about that actual number, like adding the rapper aspect to it in that number, because there are just more rappers nowadays. Like it is what it is. There are more rappers. So obviously, with the amount of artists we got entering the game right now at a crazy rate, niggas on social media see, oh, you could pick up your phone, you could pick up a computer, and you can make your project and get on. I'm not really concerned about the number, because it's just more people. I'm concerned about people dying, like, period. I'm always concerned about people dying. So I don't care if it's a rapper, just a normal person. Too many people in our hoods are dying, period. There's too much hate in our hoods, too much stupid shit going on over nothing, and niggas are dying. That's what I'm more concerned over. But in regards to the rap aspect of it, this is what I learned. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this, man. I've been thinking long and hard about this. It's gotta be tough being the one-hit wonder, man. And unfortunately, I'm gonna say Young Greatness couldn't find his second hit. And I said it in the most respectful way possible. Y'all know we're respectful to the dead, of course, on my platform here. But I do believe, man, it's gotta be tough, man. I'm looking at a lot of the artists that have made it over the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, the Trinidad Jameses of the world, the OG Macos of the world. And I know Trinidad even delivered a decent project, and Mako, I think, delivered a decent project or two. But I'm looking at a lot of these artists, man. Young Greatness, he's another one that just came out with these huge records. The records were bigger than the name of the artist. I mean, these records are just, you don't even think of the person a lot of times. You think of these huge, phenomenal records that these artists have. And even in today's era, we got like a couple artists that have had one this year. Like right now, Sheck West is in the middle of his moment. He got the Mo Bamba joint. I got O's calling. I just ask myself, like, where does he go from there? You know what I mean? Like, and I hope the brother makes it and continues to put out dope music. I just ask myself, when you got a record that big, like the expectation is through the roof. Now, if you ain't producing one of them, like, it's like we don't even want to hear your music. I'm looking at the artists who kind of drive the narrative with a project. I'm looking at them stay around longer. Like, if you look at artists like Lil Pump, his buzz just grew with his people, like, for so long. Gucci Gang didn't break Lil Pump. His fans was already riding for him. His fan base was like, y'all just knew to this. We been knew what Lil Pump was doing. You know what I mean? I'm looking at artists like Chief Keef. You know, Chief Keef had a huge record I don't like, but he was buzzing in Chicago already before that. I'm looking at some of these artists, man, who kind of just delivering that one record, and probably this fame probably jumped them way further than where they were ever supposed to be, or where they were at in that point in life. And I think this is like really scary shit. Like, what do you do? Like, think about how famous Young Greatness is, or was, excuse me. Like, even, like, you got an artist who, and I say this respectfully to the dead, in this era to make it and to have a record like Moolah, which was huge in hip-hop, you're a big deal. With all the streams and all that shit going on, you're a huge deal, and you probably make a third of the money you would have made in like the 90s or 2000s, right? Like, it just is what it is. You're just this popping figure that everyone knows in our community. That's what, like, it's tough when you're popping in our community. You do all these streams, and in the internet era, you do all that radio and press. Everyone knows you. Everyone knows you in our community. So it's like tough to, like, how do you just pull back and be a producer? I'm not saying Young Greatness should have did this. I'm only bringing this point up to say it's got to be tough with artists who come out with one big time record, man, and they don't have the tapes to go with it. And unfortunately, I think Young Greatness might fall under that pack, man, of just big time record. And now you always got to search for that second joint, man. I wonder what we're doing with fame in this era, man, because this is difficult. This is not easy, and I don't even like making videos like this, but I want to just send a rest in peace to Young Greatness. I just wonder, man, where are we headed in society with this fame and shit, man? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure to Young Greatness was the breadwinner for a lot of people. You know, I'm sure Young Greatness, it was very famous in Louisiana, you know, and especially in his hometown of New Orleans. And like, to get shot in your hometown, like so many other rappers, it's oh man. Thank y'all for the time, lovers. But I want to send one more time a rest in peace, and I want to send some wishes, some well wishes and prayers to the family of Young Greatness. I know this has got to be a terrible time for them, a terrible time for them. Whew. Oh man, rappers, if you are a rapper in the public domain, just move, bruh. I don't care where you from. Like, just go, bruh. Just go go to another city, bruh. I hate to say that. Just go. Like, still do good in your city. Do great things in your city. Phenomenal. But go listen to that Boosie interview. I think he did it with Vlad. You know, go listen to that joint a couple years ago. He was right on the money about people leaving their hoods, bro. You cannot. No. You just gotta get out. And I know he was only in town for a funeral apparently, but nah, bro. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.